Welcome to the Transformative Principal. I am so excited to share this interview from ISTE 2026 with you. Really fascinating things happening there. Lots of great people. And over the course of the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear some of these great interviews. Hope you enjoy. And thanks for listening to Transformative Principal.
All right. So we're here at ISTE 2026, here with Simon and Jill from ClassVR. Welcome. Tell us what you guys have going on and a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you for having us. It's very me to be at ISTE. It's my first one. It's already quite an experience, and it's been lovely seeing so many people on this coming to our stand already. I'm Simon. I'm head of education at ClassVR.
And I'm Jill Rhodes, and I've been to many ISTEs, and I am the CMO here at Advanced Education ClassVR.
Yeah, and so what we do, it's very exciting for us at the moment. I think over the years, we've always evolved and brought out new products when we've been at ISTE and other trade shows. This one, I think, is quite exceptional for us in terms of the volume of stuff that we are previewing. Mm-hmm. And again, all hopefully new foundation and learning in terms of VR. We've both got personal favorites, I think.
Yeah, let's hear the personal favorites. That's good. It's great when there's a whole bunch being presented, but when we get to hear the really good stuff, that's what I like.
This is it, and I'm so blessed to be able to work and have a think about these different things. So there's very close to sort of my teaching experience that I think can have a huge impact in the classroom is a product we actually launched a few months ago called EduVerse Thrive. And Thrive is largely about inclusion and supporting students who struggle with regulation in the classroom. So as a teacher, I used to regularly have students that benefit sensory support, and we were lucky enough in my school to have a sensory area. And it came to us as we were planning out what was going to come in next, that we thought that there was some usage out there for VR already for kind of dysregulation and supporting children being ready to learn again. I just thought it was, what we thought as the team, it was a really exciting, had loads of potential. So we developed this bespoke product, which is a base for children that's totally customizable. Grounds, animations, sounds, whatever it might be, whatever they need at any given time, which is kind of the flagship element of that product. And just for me, it feels like the possibility if you have a set of 8 of our headsets or 30 of our headsets that you could have a sensory space in every classroom using the headset. Training and thinking about how to use it properly in the room, I think it's got the potential to make a massive difference. Yeah. And that product too has got empathy content too, and life skills, soft skills content too, just all, an all-around inclusion support package, which I think is fairly novel in VR.
Yeah, very good. So, hold on, just before you go there, you said life skills support, which I think is really important also. But I like to think of that word differently. People call them soft skills or durable skills. The way I think about that is that they're organics. And I think about that like that because organic means that it's still growing and evolving. And that's what those skills are doing over time. And you're going to have a different set of organic skills. I mean, you probably have the same ones, but different level within them when you're 5, when you're 15, when you're 50. And being able to see how that grows and changes over time. And that it's not supposed to be like, once I've learned how to ride a bike, that's a hard skill that I know. But knowing when is the right time to ride a bike is a organic skill that changes and develops as time goes on. So
and what becomes, like how soft skills evolve, like what they change, what I thought of as essential sets of soft skills when I was growing up is now a very different, very, very, very different world. And I think there's something around, again, the power of VR from time to time that you really see it in action is students being able to try out these soft skills in a safe environment, judgment free. They can. We have 300 experiences in the life skills library, all curated. And again, the children I knew that would have benefited from that safe space, that opportunity to practice and rehearse those things would have been a huge difference if I'd have had the VR in my classroom.
For sure. Jill, what are you excited about?
Well, I'm very excited about the fact that we're previewing our EduVerse STEM library here. With our Accelerate headset. So last ISTE, we previewed new Accelerate headset, which ultimately was a move for us as well because we had went into the area of 6 degrees of movement. So that allowed that whole new level of activity, where the kids ultimately could be learning anything from, welding in one class to using AI to practice interview techniques and public speaking and getting feedback. We've then taken it to another level with STEM, and we're with world-leading content creators and have put a full package together that gives the kids the opportunity to do all of those amazing experiments that you tend to not get in classrooms today for lots of different reasons, be it budget, safety reasons, etc. And the fact that they can move from doing, a chemistry experiment, when the magnesium lights up and inflames, all that kind of cool stuff, to the ultimate frog dissection that we've all probably experienced many years ago, but without the smell, which I think is a real benefit. But yeah, that library is like really something exciting that I think that the teaching community are crying out for, and the students will just experience it. So yeah, thrilled and excited about that one today.
Yeah, that's really good. And that's what I think is so powerful about VR specifically, is that you can immerse yourself in an environment and basically learn just about any skill because you're better in that kind of environment. And that's something that I find really promising about the technology. And, I think there's still ways to go to figure out how to make it so that we can do it well and effectively and effective in everything. And so what are some of your thoughts about how to, if somebody's interested in doing VR stuff, what would be like, here's how you get started? Do you need to learn it yourself as a teacher? Do you need to just buy a bunch of sets? Like what's the best way to do it?
I mean, so for us specifically, because we're an educational company rather than a commercial VR company, we're a full stack solution. So you get all of the content and all of the hardware with us straight away. So we're a bit of a one-stop shop for your VR procurement. It's working with different things, which all have their pros and cons of them. We come with an enormous amount of content. Yeah. If anything, our advice to teachers, certainly working with ClassVR stuff, will be about the deeper pedagogy in and around it. The understanding of what it can drive in terms of learning, understanding what that headset experience is for students, understanding how you then can leverage it around machine questioning, like how you've lit that spark with, because it's essentially a very disciplined technology. You're talking about a 15-minute experience in the headset. That is completely immersive. And I think if you handed teachers the opportunity to have any student that had 15 minutes total focus, it's very difficult to think about anything else when you're doing VR. So you've got this incredible opportunity to leverage. How are you going to do that? So where do you place it in your lesson? Where do you place it across a unit of work? Where do you, and how do you think about getting the best out of that experience? I think the technology itself is actually relatively simple. I was speaking to some teachers yesterday who use ClassVR in their school, and they were at pains to tell me again and again how simple they found using it, setting it up, using it in the room. So for me, it is then all just about that. Well, now you've got it and you've got it going in class. The complex thing is drawing out the best possible teaching and learning outcomes from the experience. And I think because teachers inevitably are time poor, haven't got the time to think and sit, like I now luckily get to do about how to best use VR to drive outcomes. Sometimes perhaps like that's the things I think teachers need a little bit of help with. And certainly part of what I'm trying to do.
Sure. Anything you'd add, Jill?
No, I think that, what Simon is saying is ultimately what we do is we come with a full solution, so we don't ultimately give teachers tech and walk away. That is, we're kind of white gloving it. They have a full training and onboarding, and then we're there at every step of their journey, encouraging them to use it and to play, because the more they use it, the more they realise how they can bring it into their lessons. We're constantly creating more and more content, so there's always something new, Flay.
And I would say as well, our content is like relatively simple. It's more models as well as explorable scenes, and then interactive content as well. And on the 6DOF headset, we have much broader and wider experiences. So wherever you are in your journey, in terms of utilizing visual medium as a text, I think there's something that we have to offer, like say our library is. And myself, listen, these are the apps that we're talking about here that are on our 6DOF headset, incredible, exciting, rich, varied, the complete sort of VR experience. But I would get equal joy as a teacher from a great image that I thought could drive the learning in the right way in the classroom. So wherever you're sitting in terms of visual mediums as kind of, learning design and using them to kind of leverage that deeper thinking, I think there's something we have that will work.
Yeah, one of the things I appreciate you saying is that the content is really tight, that like 15 minutes is probably about as long as one, a kid can last, and two, like that's usually the extent of what you can do. And then to me, the good thing is that if you're doing a simulation or experimenting with something or trying something, this is probably fast enough in a VR situation for you to get it and understand what's going on. And you don't need to do it much longer than that, which is also pretty cool. So this has been awesome talking with you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. How do people get more information about ClassVR?
Well, obviously, anyone that is at the show and they can listen during this time, we're on stand 1820, ClassVR. You miss us, we're very orange as always. But obviously, the website is got all our information and make it, an old-fashioned telephone call to the office to chat with somebody. That is, that's the best thing, is talk to them and talk to us about it.
Yeah, very good. Thank you both very much.
Well, thank you so much.